The sun was already high when the impossible happened, burning away doubt like mist on cracked pavement. And in that bright daylight, a miracle quietly chose the most unlikely hands. On a narrow street, buzzing with horns and heat, where dust clung to sweat and hope felt like a luxury, a poor mechanic bent over a broken engine would unknowingly change the fate of a billionaire's family forever. What began as another ordinary day of grease and struggle would soon become a moment that made a powerful mother collapse in tears, not from loss, but from overwhelming gratitude. If you believe kindness still matters and second chances can change lives, please like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Corner to support stories that remind us who we really are. Rafik Ilyas had learned early that life did not hand out favors. By noon each day, his small roadside workshop shimmered under the sun, the tin roof rattling as buses passed, the air thick with the smell of oil and metal. He fixed engines not because he loved machines, but because it kept food on the table after his father's illness swallowed their savings. His hands were scarred, his clothes permanently stained, yet his eyes still carried a softness that came from helping people even when he himself had nothing to spare. Customers trusted him because he never cheated, even when hunger whispered that he should. That honesty cost him money, but it let him sleep at night. Across the city, in a glass tower that caught the same sunlight and bent it into brilliance, lived Serafina Vale, a woman who owned companies and commanded boardrooms. Wealth followed her like a shadow, but joy had slipped through her fingers years ago when her daughter Myria was injured in a tragic accident. Since then, Myria's legs had not responded the way doctors promised they would. Specialists came and went, treatments drained fortunes, yet the wheelchair remained. Serafina loved her daughter fiercely, but the helplessness gnawed at her, and even daytime felt heavy in that bright, silent penthouse. That afternoon, a sudden breakdown forced Serafina's driver to pull the luxury car to the side of the road, right in front of Rafik's workshop. The heat pressed down, traffic snarled, and impatience flickered like sparks. Rafik approached without knowing who sat inside, seeing only a car in need and a child watching from the back seat, eyes curious and tired. He examined the engine with care, ignoring the fine suit hovering nearby, and worked as if this were any other job. What he noticed, though, was the way Myria leaned forward, fascinated by his hands moving with calm confidence, and the way her fingers twitched as if mirroring his motions. As Rafik labored, he spoke softly to the machine, explaining its faults as though it could listen, a habit born from long hours alone. He let Myria hold a clean wrench, guiding her small hands, encouraging movement without realizing the quiet battle happening inside her body. In the daylight, with no sterile walls or expectations, something shifted. A reflex awakened, subtle but undeniable, traveling from her hands through her arms, down to muscles that had long felt asleep. When Rafik helped her push against the edge of the seat to hand the tool back, her foot pressed down, just a little, but enough to matter. Serafina saw it before anyone else. At first, she thought the light was playing tricks on her, that hope was inventing images to survive. But when Myria's leg trembled again, responding to her own effort, the billionaire mother's knees weakened. Years of controlled composure shattered in seconds, and she clutched the car door to stay upright. Tears streamed freely, not caring who watched, because the miracle she had begged for in hospitals was blooming in the dust outside a mechanic's shop. Rafik, confused and alarmed by the sudden emotion, stepped back, apologizing for nothing, unsure what he had done wrong. But the truth unfolded quickly in the open air. Doctors would later explain it as neuromuscular stimulation triggered by unfamiliar, pressure-free movement, but in that moment it felt like grace. Serafina knelt beside her daughter, laughing and crying under the sun, while Myria stared at her own legs as if seeing old friends return. News of the incident spread quietly, then all at once. Serafina returned the next day, not with contracts or cameras, but with gratitude that weighed heavier than gold. She funded a proper rehabilitation program designed around the simple, human movements Rafik had instinctively encouraged. She rebuilt his workshop into a clean, safe training space for others who could not afford therapy, insisting his name be on the door. Rafik resisted at first, uncomfortable with attention, but accepted when he realized how many people it could help. Months passed, and daytime at the workshop changed. Sunlight now streamed through open windows onto parallel bars and exercise mats. Meyer, you practiced walking there, step by trembling step, always smiling when she saw Rafik's familiar oil, stained hands cheering silently from the side. Serafina watched with humility she had never known, understanding that wealth could open doors, but kindness had pushed her daughter through one. Just before the ending, please take a moment to comment where you are watching from and share what kindness means to you, because your words keep stories like this alive. If this story touched your heart, made you believe again, or reminded you that miracles can come from the simplest places, please like, share, and engage with this video. Your support helps spread hope to someone who may desperately need it today.